Packing for college can be really confusing and really stressful. People often find themselves overpacking and bringing things that they don't actually need and don't actually use while in college, especially when it comes to tech and appliances. So as someone who's gone through the exact same struggle myself, I made a list of my top 10 college tech essentials that you need to bring to college this semester. And make sure to watch to the end of the video where I'll share with you the tech that you should absolutely not bring to college. But for now, let's talk tech. I'm Agent with Ardently Tech, and on my list, I will not mention laptops or tablets because I'm going to consider those as a given. I feel like most students nowadays have their own personal computer or tablet to use for studies, but if you don't have them, check your college's resources. I'm pretty sure most college libraries have free computers for you to use as a student, and depending on what college you go to, you might even have rental laptops. Those are absolutely given, but they're not going to be on this list, so keep that in mind. The first thing on my list is power strips because dorms are kind of notorious for not having enough wall plugs. Adding a surge protector is going to be clutch in many situations, especially if the wall plug is not close to where you need that plug to be. When I was in college, I had a surge protector that had like 20 plugs on it, and that was really clutch for us. And the way that you can make most of each plug that you use is by consolidating the charges that you have. Like for example, if you have a pair of AirPods, an Apple Watch, and an iPhone, get a 3-in-1 charger that will be able to charge all three of them with one cord. So then instead of plugging 3 devices in, you're using one device to charge all 3 things. I use the ESR Halo Lock 3-in-1 charger. It's a little big, so if you want a little bit smaller, they do have a more compact version of their 3-in-1 charger. There are a ton of different options of 3-in-1 chargers available on Amazon, and if you want to get one using our affiliate links, I'll have links to all of these items that I mentioned in today's video in the description below. I'll also have a link to our Amazon storefront where I'll have a list for all the college tech essentials that I would recommend. I'll have a ton of things in that list that I won't be able to mention in this video, so make sure to check out that link in the description below. The next one is a small TV or a monitor. This is something that some people will actually recommend you not bring to college, but honestly, there's going to be days where you are stuck in your dorm because you're either sick or you don't want to go out or you're just feeling down. Having a TV to watch your favorite sitcom or whatever your favorite movie will be nice to have. But the one thing you don't want to do is get anything larger than a 40-inch TV. I think the good range is 27 to 40 inches. If you get anything larger than a 40-inch TV, it can be a little intrusive in your small dorm space. Personally, I think a 32-inch TV is like the golden size for TVs for dorms, but to each his own. Another thing that you can do is use that TV or that monitor as an external monitor for your laptop, which will come in clutch in times where you need to be productive and have a larger screen. Any research papers or any projects you're doing for school will now be a little bit more productive and a little bit easier to do with a larger computer screen. For the third item, I'm going to switch back to the entertainment mindset, and I'm going to say video games, but in particular a Nintendo Switch. If you have one, great. If you don't have one, consider getting one before college because it's actually a great bonding tool. Part of college is getting to know people and making new friends, and what better way than just playing some video games and some Mario Kart together. And the great part of the Nintendo Switch is that there's a ton of great options to play with the people and communal games, but there's also a ton of games that you can play solo. Honestly, it doesn't even have to be video games, it can be anything that helps you de-stress. Having something to take you away from the world for a little bit can be really helpful. But sometimes you need some time to yourself and need to just get focused in on the work that you're doing. Having some good noise canceling headphones is going to be clutch in those moments. I personally have the Sony WH-1000 MX4s, and for me those are great. There's the newer version of the MX5s. I don't really like those only because they don't fold up like the MX4s do. And you don't have to spend too much money on them. You can get something that's a little bit cheaper, and shoot, if you have a pair of noise cancelling earbuds, that's also really good. It can be the AirPod Pros, it can be the Bose Quiet Comfort 2s, it can be whatever you need it to be, but I just highly recommend getting something with active noise cancellation. Especially if you're studying or writing a paper in an open area, having active noise cancellation to drown out the world is going to be really clutch. The next item is actually going to be an external drive or an external SSD, especially for those people who do not have their own personal computer and are using the public computers at your library. Having an external hard drive or even just a USB can be really helpful in those situations when you're hopping from computer to computer. Yeah, you can get cloud services and use those, but for example, Google's limited to only 15 gigabytes, and once you go over that, you have to pay for more and you're paying monthly, while this, you just pay for a one-time fee and you have it carrying it with you, and the download speeds are awesome. And if you have a personal computer or laptop, this is also just really clutch to expand your storage on your computers, especially if you have a MacBook. And getting external storage on your MacBook can be really expensive when you're purchasing a new one. So getting an external hard drive to expand your memory can often be the easier route. The next thing is in case of emergencies, but also just an everyday carrying item. Having a portable charger that is strong enough to be able to power up your phone, your tablet, or even your laptop in moments where power goes out or some sort of emergency happens where you are without a charger or a wall plug. The one I have is from Rav Power, and it can charge my laptop at least to like 60% from zero. It's really, really strong. It's really sturdy, and anytime I travel, this comes along with me. If you're enjoying this video and if you learned something so far, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Here on Ardently Tech, we believe tech was made to make our lives easier, so we're here to help you understand and discover new tech that improves your life. And one of these items that can actually improve your life is an air purifier or a humidifier. Especially if you go to a university that's a little bit older and has a little bit older dorms, having an air purifier can help you sleep a little bit better. And if your college is in a drier state, having a humidifier can really come in clutch in those moments. There are some options out there that combine both air purifier and humidifier. Those can get a little expensive, but they do save a lot of space. Otherwise, if you don't care about that, having two of those things are really clutch. In a similar vein, I would also say personal heaters or personal AC, especially if you live in a dorm where you're not able to control the temperature of your room. Having a personal heater if you're a little too cold, or having a personal AC if you're a little too warm to cool you off or get you in the right temperature is going to come in really handy. The next item on my list is actually a smart speaker. I'm going to say this is better than a portable speaker only because it's always plugged in. With a portable speaker, you have to turn it on, you have to connect it to your phone, and then you get to play music. While with a smart speaker, you can just say, hey, blah, 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 play this on Spotify, and it'll play that music instantaneously. And obviously, you're not just using it for speakers or music, you can use it for several different reasons, and even if it's just answering a simple question that you might not know the answer to. You can get anywhere from like an Echo Dot or a Google Home or the Apple's version of it. I forget what it's called, a HomePod. But I think having one of those is going to be more convenient than a Bluetooth speaker. The next thing is for those of us who are a little bit slow in taking notes. I was a really slow note taker and I would often get behind. I wouldn't write my notes as fast as other people could, and keeping up could get a little exhausting. What I started to do was just record the lecture on my phone, but I highly recommend getting an audio recorder. My friend got one of those and the audio was 10 times better than what my phone was able to pick up from where we sat in class, especially if you're going to be doing class in one of the larger lecture halls. Some people will say you should definitely ask your professor before you start recording the class, of course, but most professors I believe will probably be okay with it. Not to mention, you'll also save a ton of battery life on your tablet or on your phone, and yeah, that's just another perk. And the last one is actually going to be something you're going to want to make sure is okay and allowed on your campus, because some campuses have banned these, but if you can, I highly recommend getting an electric scooter or something like a boosted board. Anything that you can get that's like an electric transportation that's allowed at your campus will come in really handy, especially if your campus is massive and you live in hotter or colder environments. It'll help you get to point A to point B so much faster, you'll never want to walk again. When we went to college in Florida, everything was spread out and everything was far apart and there was no shade whatsoever, so it was hot every time going to class. Having one of these in college would have saved me a ton of time and a ton of sweat. So obviously you could also just get a bike or a skateboard, that works too, but an electric scooter and a boosted board just sound a little bit more fun. You can get them in a variety of different speeds and limits, so check it out on Amazon. Again, affiliate links to all these items will be mentioned in the comments below, as well as things that I did not mention in this video. Other things I think you can definitely bring to college that are tech-wise, but aren't necessarily essential per se, is like a mini fridge, an e-reader or a Kindle, a fitness tracker. Again, a Bluetooth speaker could come in clutch. I just think a smart speaker is a little bit better. A desk fan, some air tags and tile trackers also come in really handy. Again, I have all of those and more on our Amazon storefront, so make sure to check that link in the description. Alright, those are all great, but here are the things that you should absolutely not bring to college. Larger TVs, like I said, anything larger than 40 inches is just too big for a small space. So the smaller the better. Again, under 40 inches is a great size for a TV for a dorm. Another thing is a printer. They are such a waste of space. I promise you, you will not use a printer as much as you think you do. You're not going to save yourself that much more money. Most colleges will give you an allowance per semester to be able to print at the library. Totally recommend just doing that. Another thing you should absolutely not bring to college is a desktop computer. Having a desktop computer is going to absolutely limit you from studying anywhere else besides your dorm. So if you want to be able to move and study in different areas, bring a laptop, bring a tablet, or rent one out. A few other things is a surround system. So many people have tried that. So annoying, don't do it. You have people who live in the same hallway as you. We don't need your surround sound blasting through our walls. Don't bring it. A coffee maker. You're not actually gonna make coffee as much as you think. You'll probably just get coffee from the cafeteria. Unless you're like one of my roommates who brought in a whole espresso machine to college. And the final thing is a vacuum, a large vacuum. You don't need it. You're probably better off with just using a broom and a dustpan. But if you have carpet in your dorm for some reason, getting a duster buster will be just fine. But those are the things that I think that you should bring and you shouldn't bring to college. Let me know what you think. Am I missing any essentials? Am I missing anything that you should not bring? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe for more videos like this. And if you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy this one right here, where Arnell shares his top iPad accessories that you should use for college. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.